of the nation's dietary guidelines looked to deter meat consumption on the basis of environmental concerns. Well, the Red Meat Advisory Council called the advice misinformed and an overreach, and I'm joined, hopefully not judged, by their CEO, Alastair James. Alastair, what was so concerning about the review into the guidelines?
Well, as you described, the introduction of environmental considerations in our nation's dietary guidelines is the concern. That the focus should be fair and squarely on nutrition and dietary requirements in Australia, where we've got 1 in 5 women are iron deficient. It should be the focus of the dietary guidelines to make sure that we can fix that, rather than getting distracted and confusing the messaging with environmental considerations.
Alastair, we had Dr. Annalene Pradayarchi here earlier today. She's a food nutritionist, big believer in the importance of meat in the diet. The fact that environmental concerns have crept into this decision making, or potentially will, means we're not selling the story, right, about the environmental stewardship.
That's right. And it is, I guess, a situation where it's allowed to get, or potentially allowed to drive an ideological agenda rather than focus on the guidelines itself. Selling that story is certainly an important part. An industry certainly does its part, but it's a constantly improving process. Just yesterday, the Australian Beef Sustainability Framework did its annual update launch, which had some amazing figures around industry's progress in improving its sustainability and its environmental credentials. So I think it's just, if you take the time to have a look, you would be very comfortable with where industry is going and is currently. So I guess, selling that message is very important.
Yeah, there were phenomenal metrics that came out of the Beef Sustainability Framework yesterday, and a great message to be able to send out to the world. And I guess the question is then, with the review to the guidelines going the way that it has so far, does that mean that bureaucrats are not really aware of the improvements in that space either?
I think, like the general public, there is differing levels of understanding of Australian agricultural production methods. So that's part of selling that message, and understanding that it is a constant improvement, and that Australian farmers, they're custodians of over 50% of Australia's land mass, 40,000 businesses, agricultural red meat businesses out there that every day focused on improving animal welfare, improving their sustainability, whilst also improving profitability and their reliability. So,
Let's turn to biosecurity. RMAC recently wrote to the Senate inquiry into biosecurity. What are you asking for there?
The biosecurity related, obviously it's an extremely important topic. Biosecurity is key to our industry. We're fortunate in being an island that we can keep a lot of pests and diseases out of the country, so maintaining that focus. Industry has long sought long-term sustainable funding of biosecurity. There is the proposal to introduce a biosecurity protection levy, which looks to help lock that in. There are a few holes in the policy and a few details missing. So I guess that is really what we're after, the answers of those questions.
Alastair, it's budget time next week. What's on the wish list?
There's a few things, unsurprisingly, but I think around the biosecurity front is the funding, making sure that all the risk creators pay their fair share in protecting our country, so continuing that. Similarly, on a biosecurity front, we have the National Livestock Identification System, which has been in cattle for quite some time, but will now be introduced in sheep and goats, so assistance in that. Redeveloping the database, continuing improving agricultural the education process, and making sure that agriculture is part of the curriculum is another area, and obviously workforce regional accommodation and all that kind of thing is another area. So that's a summarised list.
Well, I hope you get as much on that wish list as possible. Alastair James, thanks for leaving a fabulous celebrity lunch today to join us on Beef TV. What were you eating?
It was a celebrity lunch by Miguel Macho, AAK, so it was a paella with short beef ribs of AAK's Westholme brand. So
you're welcome to bring me up a little doggy bag.
Hopefully there'll be a little bit left.
Enjoy. Alastair James there from the Red Meat Advisory Council. And don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about taking Queensland beef to the world and 3 things you didn't know about bull sperm. But where are the best places to eat in Queensland? We found out.